Welcome. Looks like we've already got people linked in. Welcome to Wizard Update 518. Weekend before Lake Tom Steed Tour de Dirt race number 4. So I'll just kind of hem-haw around a little bit for a couple of minutes until we get everybody time to check in, and then we'll get rolling on some topics. So my topics are listed on the first comment. I've got Fireball and box wine tonight. A couple of good topics that I pulled from last week, so I ran out of time. Daniel Lemons, studious as usual. Welcome, Daniel. I guess, I don't know. Is 8 o'clock count as afternoon? I don't know. It is light outside still, so it does feel like afternoon. I guess technically it's probably evening, but who cares? It's nice out. Sun's shining. So at least the sun's shining here. I don't know about every place else. So again, welcome. You guys are welcome to comment, or you're welcome to just watch the show as well too. I do believe again that in order to comment, you need to sign in with an email account to your YouTube account, and once you're signed in, that allows you to comment on it. I think you can watch without that ability, but you can't comment. So, and again, if you're out there and you want me to know you're there, let me know. Just give me a hi or something like that, and I'll recognize everybody that comments in. But I can't tell who's out there unless you comment. Carolyn Fairless, what's happening? No doubt, Carolyn. It just says, hi there. Good thing it wasn't your lung or your neck that took the hit. That is true. And so it was a good learning curve, both from a rider standpoint, but also from a, and here's the mark. I'll talk about it more here in a little bit. But also from a trail maintenance and a trail, someone who takes care of trail. It's definitely, a good topic, and something that I'm going to talk about is one of my topics today, and we'll go from there. So could have been worse, and ended up being okay considering how catastrophic it was. But anyway, we'll go with that. Fo Smith, what's happening? Love to see Forrest Smith checking in. So how's the weather up in Wisconsin these days? I mean, it seems like it's crappy kind of everywhere, but it's kind of like off and on raining throughout Oklahoma. But I've had a chance of rain like every day this week and all weekend, and I've had sunshine since Sunday. So I don't know. Who knows? It's nice out here. All right, 3 minutes, 21 seconds. I've hem-hawed around enough. I'm going to pour me a shot of Fireball, and then we'll talk about the topics for the night. I'm going to get busy. I always want to pour it so that way you guys don't think I'm faking it. Could do that, but not me. Drinking it out of my favorite Homer Simpson shot glass. Dope! Fo Smith said it was nice till today, now raining, boo. Yeah, that seems to be the trend everywhere. Talked to some everybody and my girlfriend's in Colorado, and it's like up and down there, like rain and snow still. And then I see where there's like some big events in Arkansas, and it's supposed to rain all weekend there. And who the hell knows what's going to happen? So, I mean, it's supposed to rain here like all week, and there's still a chance of rain throughout the week, but I've been getting sprinkles in the morning and then sunshine in the afternoon, so that's all good. I don't really care. All right, topics for today. I want to talk about Steed. I'm going to talk about the weather. I want to talk about, my awesome little injury that I posted earlier in the week. I'm going to talk about two listener topics that I didn't get to last week. I'm going to talk about race strategies, which I don't know is kind of a hard topic to discuss, which I'll get into why it's hard. And then I'll answer Stephen Cordis's question about why there are no tech zones in cross country. And I hope I'm answering it. I don't know if that was like a hidden question and there's like a real answer that I'm not aware of, but I think I pretty much know the answer. So we'll talk about that. That's all I have. So I'm thinking we'll have a fairly decent show. Shouldn't be too long. I've done a pretty good job, actually. I feel the last probably 4 or 5 weeks of knocking it down to 45 to 50 minutes, and I think that's working a little better. That's hard for me because I get really long-winded and like to talk, but I can also tell when I'm starting to lose the audience. So I'm going to try to keep them a little shorter and keep them more on point, and so we'll see. We'll see how it works. Jay Black, what's up with us? Back at you, Jay Black. Hey, what's the status of your rear triangle and bike situation? Give me the 411 on that. So Jeremy is a teammate of mine and smashed his bike at pre-riding Lake Steed the weekend before last, and does appear that he cracked his rear triangle on his bike. So that's no bueno. Oh man, I miss Fireball. I don't drink it that much anymore. Good stuff though. It's like drinking like red hot candy or something like that. It's pretty nice. You get in trouble real easy with it though. All right, topic number 1. Let's just knock this out and let's just talk about steeds. So race is coming up this weekend. Get registered. You can register online. The event page, just Google it, and the event page has every piece of information that you want. Just put up, I think it's Lake Tom Steed Mountain Bike Race. Just Google that, or not Google that, but just go to Facebook and search it. You'll find the event. On the About link, I have a link to a website that has all the information. The information talks about COVID protocol. It talks about the location, directions. It talks about where to go to. It has a link to online registration. It has a link to, or it has a page that talks about the Saturday schedule and the Sunday schedule, time frames, every bit of that information. So just find the event page. Just Google, or not Google, but just go to Facebook and search Lake Tom Steed Mountain Bike Race. You'll find it, and all the information is there. And get registered online. Again, it makes it easier on us. We're going to race this thing no matter what. I'm telling you right now. I'm looking at the forecast. The forecast is like 20, 25, 30, 35% chance. It's off and on. It's been the same for like the past 6 days. And the trail is primo right now. Like straight up, the trail is unbelievably primo. We've been getting some moisture, which keeps it from being sandy, because I'm sand based out here. It's sand and rock, so there's no sticky mud. Like we had some mud last year because we had like really heavy rains the whole week before and active rain the day of the race. And there was some mud spots, like really big mud spots. But as you remember, they didn't stick. So there's no caking, there's no clay, there's no peanut butter. It's all sand based, so it doesn't matter. It's all going to be fine. But the significance of the weather is zip. I mean, hell, even if it rains again on race day, it's going to be fine because we're not getting anything this week. Like, I mean, we're already Tuesday and nothing. I mean, I've had sunshine since Sunday at about 11:30. I think overnight on Monday it sprinkled or something because the grass was wet when I got up in the morning, but that's it. So nothing. So I mean, hell, even if we get a gully washer, which we're not, trail's going to be fine. So bring it. I really highly suspect that unless we get weird timing of rain at start time, the trail's going to be perfect. I mean, you can't, who knows if it actively rains, like literally at race time, it's going to be a little slippery on the rocks, but it won't be muddy. So it'll be all good. Okay, hang on a second. I got a message. So Jay Black says, no word from Specialized. I don't expect to have a bike. Oh, Jay Black, we need to work on this. You could ride a large, Jeremy, possibly, right? Possibly. We need to find you a bike, Jeremy. We need to make that happen. Hit me up after the show. So, give me just a second here. I have a message that I need to respond to. Then we'll get right back onto the subject. All right, sorry for the delay. Had a couple messages coming in from some friends that were trying to get linked into it, and I couldn't get the YouTube. There's probably it's on my page. It's on my my personal Facebook page, but of course they're not here, so they can't hear that. Jeremy, yeah, hit me up. I have that rigid Sur 9. I also have an old fork that could be serviced possibly. Man, it's going to be hard pressed to get that up to you, but talk to me tonight after the show, and if I have to make a mad dash to the shop with gear and equipment, I'll load all that crap up and I'll take off work tomorrow and go to the. I mean, we're over. School's out. I'm just like doing stuff. It's no big deal. So let me know. Darren Hall says hello. What's happening, Darren Hall? How'd you sneak in there? Darren, I missed you. You snuck in between two of Forrest Smith's comments. Sorry about that, brother. Hey, so Darren, hit me up. So like you said, you're not going to be racing Steed either. Like when you saw like oh well, my thing. So what's going on with you? Did you get injured or something of that nature? So anyway, so Steve's going to be perfect. I'm doing final things. I'm going to do final markings. I'm probably going to go out there tomorrow and do some final markings. I've got to make a mad dash Friday with my dad to go to Robert's Cave. We're hauling an RV fifth wheel up there for one of my younger twins who's doing a internship at Robert's Cave this summer. And so I'm going to make a mad dash Friday up there to take the RV up there for him with my dad. And then we're going to come back. And then, so I'm going to try to do final markings probably tomorrow at Lake Steed, like along the roadside and anything like that. I'm probably going to go ahead and mark the start finish area with hopes that nobody will tear it down. But I'll be back out there Saturday morning early to do all of that. So no, yeah, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's it. So Steve's going to be great. The weather, screw the weather. It's going to be fine. So weather will be good. Course is going to be good. All the limbs are going to be cut back that might be sticking out in the trail. Trust me. I could put together a hardtail if I had a non-boost through axle front wheel. And oh, Jeremy, you just lost me too. Non-boost through axle front wheel and 10-speed Shimano shifter. Yeah, so like, I don't know. I'm not a bike geek, even though I do geek out on riding. Let's find something for you. Surely the shop can put something together for you. All right, enough about Steed. Let me look at let's talk about what happened with me this week. So yeah, no doubt, Forrest. 2 weeks is a long time to wait, but that's kind of the standard operating procedure, it seems like these days. So unfortunately, maybe not with Trek. Maybe Phil Smith has a hookup. But that doesn't do Jeremy any good with his specialized. Oh, Darren Hall says torn rotator cuff that I've been dealing with. Plan to fix it later in December, but weekend of pre-residency, couldn't put it off. Had surgery. Oh, okay. Well, bummer that you had to go ahead and do it now. But yeah, I'm stoked that you had the surgery done, and you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go as soon as you recover. So it's a pretty. I mean, from I guess everybody that I've talked to, it's a pretty long recovery, but just do it right, do the rehab, and Darren, you'll be back strong as ever. Just take your time. Just take your time. Let's see. Let me see if I can. Hang on a second. Getting messages live. I'm getting messages live from a couple of different people. Sorry, I'm distracted, but I've got a couple of messages rolling. Darren Hall says for sure be back on the second half. So, so everybody go take a drink. I'm going to take like 30 seconds here to pop out here, and I need to do something real quick. Tool. Copy link address. See if that works. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Got a little loop back there. Sorry, I'm still here. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm trying to get a couple messages out to a couple people that are trying to link into the show, and they're having trouble. So, where do I need to go to paste that? Okay, I think that's going to do it. I'm back. So, incidents. So, I'm riding last Saturday with teammates John Denton and Stephen Smith. I'm super stoked to be with them at this particular time. I do a lot of solo riding, honestly, and I would have survived this solo, but it was so nice to be with teammates and to have someone there. And it just takes me back. I just do a lot of dumb things, honestly, like over the years solo that I get by with, I get away with. And then every now and then something comes along to like just kick you in the ass and to make you start really thinking about, what you're doing. And how to do things safely, and not necessarily. I mean, I think we all, even given what we do, I think most people think we're crazy, but for the most part, I think most of us do things pretty safely. I mean, I've been doing this thing for 21 years now. I mean, I've had one broken collarbone, lots of bruises and abrasions and sprains and things of that nature. And then I had this. So this is probably the most catastrophic looking thing that I've ever had cycling, but it actually, it's probably going to impact me the least, and it's going to hurt the least. I mean, hell, I've crashed and just like smashed my hip, and it hurt 10 times more than this thing. So anyway, I feel that we all do things in a very safe way, and considering what we do for the normal person. So that said, for those of you that do like me and ride solo a lot, at least if you're going to ride solo, create a procedure with someone that you know, someone that you care about, your significant other, your kids, if your kids are at home, a good buddy, if you have someone that's local and close, and just check in and check out. Like, hey, I'm going to go ride here. I'm going to do this. I'll check back in when I'm done. If I don't check in by this time, maybe text me, maybe try to find me, just work out a protocol. I have actually done that pretty well for many years, even though I do ride solo. But it was kind of nice to have company this week. So basically what happened is I hit a section towards the end of Steed. We have a lot of, while it's rocky and open for most parts, there's several little corridors where there's these weird little canopies of trees and evergreens on the side. And the evergreens are, a pretty big pain in the ass. And so you have to cut them back because they grow like crazy. And so somebody had cut them back. And then so basically you had like a length of evergreen sticking out, yay far. And then you have like, other limbs or other parts of the brushy evergreen that kind of grow over them. So it looks soft and it looks like there's like fluffy stuff, but underneath that, there's actually limbs that have been pruned. And when you prune them, often they're at an angle. So that means that the end of the prune is sharp. So essentially that's what happened. I was going through a section, I'm holding onto my bars, and I got kicked over to the left. And when I got kicked over to the left, I just skinnied up to like an evergreen tree over to my left, which happens a million times through my career. It happens to all of us as cyclists. That's just what happens. You bounce off a tree, you tap a tree, you get into the brush, it scrapes you up, whatever. It's no big deal. 99.9% of the time. However, this time, for whatever reason, when I got into the brush, there was a hidden limb that was, I don't know how far it was. It was, several inches long. It was probably, 8, 10, 12 inches long that had been pruned, but it was hidden. And as I got kicked over to the left and went through, again, my momentum and my hands on the bars, it's not like I can stop. It's not like I can let go of the bar. It's not like I can't do anything. And I felt an impact, so you can see the L. Let's see, so you can see the L. So I felt an impact right here at the L. And I knew that I'd hit a stick in the tree, and I don't really know what's going to happen. I felt the pressure, and then it just, boom, it happened like that. And essentially what happened is the limb inserted here, and it went under my skin, and it went all the way down to where the stitches end here, but it actually went all the way down to like right here. And so like it went right to the elbow. So basically the stick was from here to here inserted into my elbow. So that's about 5 inches of a stick that's probably about as big as my pinky inserted into my arm. And of course I'm still moving while it's inserted. And then finally the motion of me getting past the stick, and it just went poof. And when it popped out, that's when it just blew. And so it just basically ripped the skin here, and it ripped the skin out here. So I've got about 20, 21, 22 stitches, depends. You can see 20, but there's like several that are hidden. So I've got like 20 some odd stitches. It's cleaned out really well. My friend, Amy Sims, who works in the ER in the hospital. We were friends from CrossFit, so she was working, and she cleaned it out and took care of me and stitched me up, and all is well. The swelling's gone down. I had a bunch of fluid yesterday on my elbow, and that's pretty much all gone down. The part that hurt was actually right here. And that was because the stick actually went all the way to this part of my elbow inside. So like between here and here, the stick actually went all the way to here before it popped out and tore my skin. So anyway, sounds gross. I didn't show all the pictures. I had some really good ER pictures of, during the cleaning when the flap was open, but I didn't post that. It was kind of gross. So, but crazy as it sounds, so Carolyn, yes, no, I totally have pictures before the sutures and pictures in the ER, but I'm not going to post them. I'll shoot them to you if you want, because I know like you deal with stuff like that. And I'll gladly shoot those to you privately, but I'm just not going to post them. They're pretty gross. So, but crazy as it sounds and as catastrophic as it was, it actually really didn't hurt. I mean, it didn't. I mean, I never lost my composure. I never had any concerns. I knew what happened. I mean, it just happened, and I looked at it and I just immediately, thought forward. So I took my glove in my hand and I just compressed it, and I held it. And then Stephen and John are right there, and we got a plan. I asked John to walk my bike out. I asked Stephen to go forward and get a wrap ready, because I knew that I would need to keep it compressed so that it wouldn't bleed. And it didn't bleed because of the shock to the area, luckily. Because I was concerned about bleeding out a little bit. I mean, I didn't know what all I hid in there. But I also have a new car. I didn't want to bleed in my car, and I still knew that I had like a 10-minute hike out and another 30 minutes to the ER. So, but it turned out fine. John got my bike out, hooked me up. Stephen got back to the car and had a wrap. He wrapped me up, wrapped it up all tight and perfect. The ER ladies said, "Stephen, you did an awesome job." And no blood. I mean, it compressed it and everything stayed compressed. And I actually came home, honestly, before the ER, because I still had my kid and stuff. I didn't want to, I knew I was going to be in the ER for like 2 or 3 hours, getting it all cleaned and stiff. So I came home and changed first, and then I went up, and then I walked to the ER, because I'm literally like a half a block from the hospital. So so it was all good, and I'm fine. I mean, it's still sore and it's still seeping, but looks like a shark bite, but not bad. So I'm probably going to race this weekend, and barring too much pain. But I've done my trainer the last 2 nights. I've got to cover it back up. It's only uncovered because I just got off the trainer and showered. But I've got to put antibiotic back on it and cover it again for tonight and tomorrow. And I can't get my stitches out until middle of next week. So anyway, that's my story. So it was interesting, and it definitely makes me think a little bit differently about when I'm cutting back those trees. So I'm definitely going to be much more conscious of cutting things back properly and making sure that there are, no sharp ends and things of that nature. So all it takes is one little stick the size of your pinky that has a sharp end on it, and can be a pretty big game changer. Alrighty, I missed some comments, so I'm going to go back up and check them out here. Just give me a sec. Alrighty. I think I got my friends hooked up, so I'm glad you guys are here. Hope you're enjoying the show. Bo Smith says he pleads the fifth when talking about the bikes and stuff, and parts arriving on time. Yeah, for sure. Darren Hall says for sure be back in the second half. Awesome. Oh man, love the comments. Jay Black, for sure. I ride alone, and we all know how I ride. Jay Black, brother, you should not be riding by yourself. We need to get you a shirt that just says full send, bro. Full send. That is Jeremy Black right there. Full send. Yeah, Bo Smith, I have the old shitty Garmin. I'm looking at updating, and when I do update, I want to get something like that, the Garmin Live Track for sure. I have something with my helmet. I have the specialized helmet, but honestly, I just really never got that to work, and I think that I screwed that up. Or maybe the battery's dead, or maybe I've banged my head too many times with the helmet, so who knows. Daniel Lemons, I read solo 95 this time. I always try to let my wife know my plans. If I follow those plans, is another story. That's exactly right, Daniel. But still, though, that's a good plan, Daniel. That's exactly it. That's what I'm talking about, though, man. you're checking in. So she knows that there's going to be a gap. Like, maybe Daniel should be here by now. He's missing dinner and the girls, and but still, so you have a check-in process, and so you have a follow-up, and that's me. Sometimes, like, I'm not here all by myself. Luckily I've still got a kid at home, one of my kids, but that's going to end at the end of summer. I'm going to be solo completely here, so I'm going to have to be much more careful about when I go solo riding, just to be smart. So Bryce Nichols says, post the pics on OnlyFans. Yeah, my sexy OnlyFans. I'm making some money on that. Yeah, no, not. That's like the hot thing for sure. Dude, Bryce, I'm glad you're on here, man. When are you going to come ride bikes again? Your twins are getting bigger. It's like, I know you're doing all your coaching stuff, but hey, man, school's out. Track's over. Come ride bikes, man. Oh man, 31 minutes in. Damn, I'm gonna go long today, guys. I'm sorry. I've BS'd my way through this thing. I knew it was gonna happen. Alrighty. Hassoon, I may bring the Bryce. That'd be awesome. It's a great venue to bring the kids. If you're gonna camp, you need to definitely go out and try to get one. I mean, the campsites are filling up quickly. If you have trouble getting one, let me know, and I'll reach out to the my park manager out there, and maybe she can hook you up. If not, holler. We'll see if we can figure out something. Hell, you could come camp in my backyard. I know. Who cares? I mean, hell, you could camp in my front yard. I'm 25 minutes away, so we could have a big party at the Wizard's house. Everybody could come camp in my front and backyard. I'll find somebody to cook. I mean, I can cook, but I'm going to be kind of busy this weekend, so. All right. I got it. Okay, one message, no bank card. All right, there. All right. Let's see. All right, I'm back. Okay, so we're going to do two listener topics. And if you guys have questions or comments about either of these or other ones, please give me a shout out. I'm going to start trying to do this weekly. This worked out really well. I threw this out there 2 weeks ago, and I got several listener requests for things to talk about. I was not able to cover 2 of them last week, so I held them off this week, and that's what I'm going to cover today. But yeah, this is fun stuff. These are things that you guys want to know, and I may or may not know the answer. I can BS my way through it and give you my opinion, or I can research it and see what happens. So. Stephen Cordes tossed one out, and he said, why are there no tech zones in cross-country mountain biking? So, I have notes on that, but I don't know that I'm really going to read them. This just goes back to the fact that there are some really old school cross-country rules that different from UCI, that vary from UCI. They vary from a lot of the current stuff, and the old school cross-country mountain bike thing was that you needed to be self-sufficient. You're doing a race, you have to finish this race. In order to finish this race, you have to be self-sufficient. You have to finish the race on your own. Now, there are some caveats, and those caveats are that if you have a teammate that is on your same team, they can provide assistance to you. But you cannot actually get assistance from another teammate, another rider, or provide assistance to another rider unless they are on your team. Now, that's a big gray area, especially with Tour de Dirt, because we have teams, but who's on that team, and just whatever, who's monitoring that? Nobody. And so there's a lot of flexibility with that, I think. And I mean, I've dropped a tube. You know, I mean, I've had a buddy that's had a flat, and I'm like, "Hey, you okay?" And he's like, "No, I had a flat." And I'm like, "Whoop, here's a tube." You know, again, risking my race, because what happens if I need that tube in 15 minutes? But you know, or you know, hey, I need a pump. Toss the pump. Technically, that's against the rules, but that happens, and that's understandable. But that goes back to still the rule. There are no tech zones allowed in cross-country mountain bike racing. So there is no place for you to go fix your bike. You can't come across the start finish and like, oh, hey, there's my team tent. Let's go fix my bike. Now, again, being that we're a small, local, regional series, we have a lot of leeway. And that is that, you know, we tend to look the other way. You know, if you get a flat and you run your bike in and you go to your team tent and you do the work yourself, and you're not far off the course and you enter the course at the same place that you left the course, you know, we're okay with that. Even though that, again, technically that's against the rules. So the key is that you've got to know that there is no such thing as a tech zone in cross-country mountain biking with USA Cycling. So if you're doing a nationals race or any kind of official race like that, you've got to know that is not in the ballpark. There is a feed zone, and the feed zone is different. That is only a place where you can take on nutrition, you can take on water, food, you know, whatever, you know, change clothing if you want to, you know, do that. But it's not a place to do tech zone, because the whole idea is that in cross country mountain biking, you're supposed to be able to take care of everything yourself. That means you need to carry everything that you need to make the repair. So it doesn't mean that you can stop and get something in a feed zone. So anyway, so that's the reasoning behind that. Hope that answers it, but it is what it is. Dude, Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy Black just sent me a private message. Jeremy, don't do that private, man. You need to post that on my feed. You need to post that on the page. So out on Facebook. That is awesome. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. That was a private thing, but yeah. All right, we're going to go to the final subject, and let me get back to where I need. Got too many things rolling here. So final thing, 38 minutes. I still may make it in 50. I think so. I don't know if I'm going to make 45, but I'm definitely going to make 50. Last subject, race strategy. So I am actually going to look at my notes here a little bit, because this was a strange one and a hard one. So I had a friend of mine, I've had this multiple times. Alyssa Lutz, what's happening? Hey, Alyssa, I'm not going to talk about all of our stuff today. I'm going to make that my primary focus for next week, if you don't mind. So Alyssa, Bike Club, we've got some cool shit happening. We're going to talk about that in detail next week. That's going to be one of my, that's probably going to be my primary topic. Because I'll get my race weekend out of the way this week, and that'll give me Monday to really dive into that. But we've got some cool announcements and some cool events happening this summer with Bike Club and the kids in Oklahoma City area. So just want to throw that out there. It's a teaser, but that's going to be my main subject for next week. Last subject, race strategy. This is a difficult one. You can talk about this till you're blue in the face. You can talk to 10 people and get 10 different answers. And the simple fact is that there is no one size fits all. The only thing is experience, experience, experience. Just keep getting miles on the bike, keep getting race time. But the one thing that I always say is that, so there's so many things that vary, right? So this race strategy can be very simple, very simple. But at the same time, it's completely complex. So it just goes from one to the other. I mean, I know that's contrary, saying that it's very simple and very complex, but that is exactly it. It's very simple, but yet the complexities within that simple are just bizarre when you start really pinning down different details. And it all depends on so many things. Courses are different. Your fitness is different. Your skill sets are different. Who you're racing against is different. The level that you're racing against, the level that you're racing is different. Your goals are different. So all of those play into what could be a race strategy. And so I just want to I'm just going to throw out some generalities and just let you know, so that you kind of get an idea of the things that go on in your mindset, or could go on in your mindset as you're racing when it comes to strategy. So, the first thing that you have to do is, like, you just have to be a very good evaluator. And the first thing is evaluate yourself. You have to know yourself, know your skills, know your fitness, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know yourself. You got to know what can you do, right? You've got to know what you can do. But you never know how you're going to feel, or how the training's done, or how the training's working, or where you're at. So it's still, so Jeremy Blythe just popped in and said race strategy is very fluid and dynamic based on course, weather, opponents, etc. That's exactly it. It's fluid and dynamic. That's a very good example. So again, I'm going to give you some just like really, really basic thoughts, but you can't really pin it down, because it just, the only thing that the only way to learn race strategy is to race and to try things and to experience things and to find things that work or don't work, and then test things and then see what works for you in the situation. Let's see. And I'm gonna have to get the glasses here. Can't see. Oh man, that's great. So it's like, so the first thing I put was know your body. So that's what I just talked about. You got to know yourself. You got to know what you can and can't do. Simple as that. Know your skills. What's your skill set? Are you good at the rocks? Are you good at the fast stuff? Are you good at turning? Are you good in the sand? Are you good at climbing? Are you good at downhills? I don't know. Those are all different. So like, you need to know those things to know what your race strategy might be. And then in the end run, after a lot of these things, you do also need to know your opponents. Who are you racing against? What are their skill sets? Where are they good at? So I could throw out a few names. Kevin Caldwell, Jason Ingolke, Neil Boyd. Back in the day, there's been some other guys, but those are guys that I've grown up racing against over the last 15 years. And the simple fact is, they all have different skill sets than me. I have different skill sets than them. So it's like, what do you take advantage of? What do they take advantage of? Where are you trying to just cut your losses? So you have to know your opponents as well too. And that's fun. That's actually really, really fun knowing that and knowing how you deal with that. So that's an interesting part of it, and a really fun part as well too. The next line I have is called take a chance to learn. So this is something that I see a lot, and this is something that it's really, really hard to get people to do. And that is take a chance. So you're thinking about race strategy. You're thinking about, do I need to start hard? Do I need to go out and just take the whole shot and just go? If I do that, how long can I go? And then if they catch me, what can I do then? Well, I don't know. Do you know? Test it. May not be the best race strategy, but guess what? At some point in your race career, you've got to try it. Do the thing that you're not used to doing. Or do you not take the whole shot on purpose and you just sit in and you just sit in and sit in and sit in and wait for someone to attack and follow the attacks and go from there? I don't know. Try that too. But the whole point, there's tons of different strategies. What works best for you is questionable. And honestly, what works one race may not work another because of the course, your fitness, your style. So you have to be really, really, really super flexible. But you have to be willing to take a chance. And the thing is like early in, it's really good to take these chances. Like, hey, maybe I should just attack. Like, I think that on this really technical section here, I think I'm getting these guys. I think they're hurting. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe you're right. But who knows? How do you know? The only way to know is to attack the shit out of them and see. It may work, it may not. Either way, though, you know now. You have the answer to that. So next race, you take that knowledge and you just add it to your knowledge base. And you're like, okay, I did this here last race. It did not work. I'm not going to do that again. But every now and then things like that happen and they do work. So the whole point is that you just have to experiment. There's so many different situations. There's so many different scenarios that there is no one strategy that works. Now I could sit down with a person individually and talk to them, and I could I could have them give me their skills. I could talk to them about, the things that they've done, the races that they've done, and how the races played out, who they race against, what their skills are. Give me an hour with someone like that, and I could probably, help evaluate like a possible scenario for them or a possible strategy. But the thing is, generally, there's so many, and the strategies change every single race based on the course, based on your skills, based on your competition, based on their skills, and all that. So, yeah. So let me see. I got a few comments here. So. Paula Kelly says, the mere fact that you sat back on the couch means you're going way long tonight. I know, right? That is an indicator. Paula just totally called me out. Like I sat back on the couch, crossed my legs, like, oh man, we're going deep. Jay Black says, and then sometimes you drink a Red Bull before the race and you have to make a pit stop mid-race, making strategy moot point. Yeah, there are those times, Jay Black. Yeah. And that was a race strategy that I personally had not intended. I think the Red Bull is your race strategy, but I think it was just a bad breakfast burrito that I had at Medicine Park. So I still got on the podium, by the way. I'm just saying. Even though I had to make a pit stop, it was ugly. Daniel Lemon says, I always start hard, and Kevin Snyder kills me when we hit the fast pedal section, or the section when endurance is the key. Folks misses Brown Alert. Oh, Forrest, man. Yeah, that Medicine Park was, man. My body was not right that day. Yeah, Daniel, I noticed that you do the whole shot. You do that, and that's cool, and that works. But so for that example, that's what you do, right? I mean, that's your thing. And you've got a precedence. So it's like, you go out hard, but then like you dial it back and you blow up. So now my question is like, you're doing the thing, Daniel, that a lot of people really struggle with, and that is they're afraid to go out hard and go out front and just go to the front and go. So you've got that. So now I guess my challenge to you is to start thinking of different strategies. So that's not always playing out for you. So now then maybe don't go out for the whole shot. Maybe just go in and dial it back a little bit, rest, don't kill it, and wait and wait and wait and sit. Mark someone like Kevin, and then play a little different strategies. So just try it. Who knows? You're still you're still a young racer, so try a different strategy, see what happens. That's key. So, all right, I got a few more points here with this, but not too much. So, yeah, I'm just gonna like finish up with my last little bit, and I'll just throw out some comments. So I got a few basic little statements, and then if you guys got comments or questions, hit me up. So we'll finish off with Fireball here. Good stuff. So at the simplest though, train hard. I mean, that's what we're doing. You got to train. You got to prepare yourself. You got to do the training. You got to do the preparation. That's part of it. You've got to rest well. You've got to eat well. A big part of it is you got to think positive. Like I talk to a lot of people and their thoughts are like so negative. They're like, oh man, I just can't do it. I can't do this. I can't do this. I haven't prepared. I'm not ready. So-and-so is so good. So-and-so is so fast, man. I'm just bumped up a category. This is, hard. And it's like, man, the negativity is just, bizarre, man. Knock that shit right the fuck out. Just stop it. As soon as you start doubting, as soon as you start that, immediately in your head, stop it, change it, say, no, I'm not doing that. And I'm going to have a good day. I'm not ready. But you know what? It's going to be a good day. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to ride my pace. I'm going to do my thing and change the negativity to a positivity. Even if you're not prepared, even if you're not ready, even if you have those things going on. Being in a positive mindset is going to be a game changer. It's going to be a game changer. I still struggle with this sometimes, negativity, sometimes preparedness, sometimes, just things of that nature. And it's like I force myself to push through those negative thoughts and push to the positive thoughts. And as soon as you hit the positive thoughts and you start thinking positive outcome, it changes your whole demeanor. It changes the way you behave, it changes the way you act, it changes the way you ride, it changes the way you race. Change the way you think. And those are mission critical when you're racing bikes, among other things in life. But I'm not a life coach. I'm just trying to help you ride bikes. So, do that. Race hard, and then cards fall where they may. That's pretty much it. So, I race a lot. I've won a lot in the past. I haven't won a lot of races recently. I'm on the podium, still doing well. But you know what? I still enjoy doing it. And, I love it when a buddy of mine kicks my ass. I just do. I mean, I have a good race, they have a good race. And it's fun. It's fun. So anyway, so that's my long spiel. Paula caught me. It's 54 minutes. I lounged back, so I mean it was going to be a long one. So let's go back up and let's see. Daniel Lemon, Bo Smith. Alyssa Lutz says, serious question. What is the mountain bike etiquette when you want to pass someone? Call it 1, 2, 3. Should you let them buy or block them? I've had that question come up a few times, Alyssa, and I mean, honestly, I have a handful of people that have had really big issues with this and bring it up a lot. Um, I've never had any issues. I think there are issues in the Cat 3s just simply because of lack of knowledge. They don't know how to let people around or things like that. Um, I just don't find that, I don't know. I think everybody's probably different. Um, I don't care. I mean, like, you just talk to them. I mean, I guess I'm different. I mean, I'm competitive. I'm a different cat though. It's like, I mean, if I'm approaching somebody or someone's approaching me, I literally talk to them. I'm like, hey, who's back there? Or, I'm like, if I'm approaching someone, I'm like, hey, this is Corey, hey, I'm behind you. And if they want to let me around, then they typically will. And I'm the same way. And I'm like, I've got someone approaching me and I'm like, oh man, I'm not feeling it. You need to go around me. I just get out of the way. It's like, it's all based on how I feel. Now, and I do that even with, people that I'm competing with. Like people in my category, in my age group, in my single speed group. Like, I mean, if I'm out in front of Trip's like, comes up on me and he's like just smoking it and I'm sucking ass. I'm like, dude, just roll, go. I'm not going to block him. And that's just, I mean, it's just basic good behavior. I just think people get too race intense. And so there's none of these issues should be an issue when it comes to passing. I mean, there shouldn't be. I mean, there's a time and a place. I mean, some trails you just can't. I mean, there's no place to go. But unless you're racing against someone very specifically in the same category, in the same age group, there should be no conflict. There shouldn't. I mean, you should allow them to go around or not in the story. So, but we could go on and on about that. That's crazy. And it doesn't happen, Alyssa, much in mountain biking, but it does happen frequently from some individuals. Usually what I say is that if you've experienced this, let me know and let me know who it was, because I want to have a personal face-to-face chat with them. That's my thoughts. So versus trying to preach the etiquette, I'd rather have a little one-on-one talk with the person that was not doing it properly. And I'd like to set them straight, just because we don't really have trouble like that in mountain biking, and we shouldn't. And if we do, we just need to, we need to nip in the bud. So Kevin Snyder says late, but really will watch later. So awesome, Kevin. Appreciate it. Yep. Postman says the person in front of you actually owns a trail, but if you aren't in the same cat, then you should let them buy when it's safe. Yeah, that's right. Forrest, you're right. I mean, that's the whole idea. But I mean, just so many people just don't have a clue. I mean, that's why we do leg marking, so you know who's in front. If you're competing. If like I'm rolling up on someone and like I'm a single speeder and I know their age group, I'm like, hey, I'm a single speeder. I'm not in your group. When you get a chance, it would be nice, but just whenever you get a chance, don't hurry. Things like that. So, Alyssa, you're right. I mean, a lot of the roadies don't. Typically, that's who we, that's typically where the issue lies, because they have the roadies have that mindset, but usually works out. It all works out, because I mean, really, if they're blocking you, you're eventually going to get around. If they're blocking you because you're going faster than them. So it's really not going to work in the long run. I mean, so that strategy really doesn't work in mountain biking anyway. I mean, often when people do that to me, I'll just sit on their wheel and just sit there till it drives them crazy. So, all righty. I made it to an hour. I apologize. I'd hoped to get out of here in 50 or less, but I didn't make it. So, good topics, good discussion, good questions. And we've got a great topic for next week. And so I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to drink another Fireball. I'm going to drink another glass of wine and talk to you guys later. Love you. See you next Tuesday. Actually, take that back. I'm going to see everybody Saturday and Sunday at Lake Tom Steed. So come out, come race, come hang out, come volunteer. Come help me at registration if you're not going to race. I could use a few hands. So love you guys. See you then. I'm out.